The emergence of Bitcoin in recent years has taken the concept of cryptocurrency from the fringes of society, finance and culture to the forefront of public consciousness. As the population becomes ever more familiar with the digital monetary system, opinions on the digital currency's legitimacy remain divided. So the idea that Bitcoin could one day become just as readily and legally accepted as the mighty dollar might be laughable to some. But to the Bitcoin bulls who believe the crypto to be the savior of the financial system, this idea is for them inevitable. Given Australia's history with massive economic reform, what are the true odds that Bitcoin could one day become legal tender across our great nation? Well, let's start by looking at El Salvador. The Central American nation El Salvador has become the first nation to officially adopt Bitcoin as legal tender alongside the US dollar. The historic move from El Salvador got off to quite a shaky start. The price of Bitcoin plummeted in the hours following its introduction. Just how well El Salvador's Bitcoin adoption goes will of course determine whether other countries follow suit. El Salvadoran President Nayib Bukele pointed out that Bitcoin's adoption would save those working abroad millions of dollars in commissions. However, Australia does not mirror this economy in that sense. Although there are Australians who do work abroad, the amount of money sent home is not as significant compared to that of El Salvador or many of the other Central American nations. Crypto regulation in Australia. Australia has been fairly progressive in their approach to regulating cryptocurrency trading. In 2017, Australia's government declared that cryptocurrencies were legal and therefore subject to the Anti-Money Laundering and Counter-Terrorism Financing Act of 2006. However, other countries have not been so relaxed when it comes to regulations. Famously, earlier this year, Chinese authorities cracked down on crypto exchanges as they view the wider crypto market as having no intrinsic value. Furthermore, Bitcoin mining was banned in China earlier in the year, as government agencies cracked down on crypto mining itself. Now, it's speculated that reasons such as environmental concerns and China's strict stance on free market trading might be at play in that decision. Environmental concerns. One alarming piece of data which emerged earlier this year was the revelation that Bitcoin mining uses 0.5% of the world's electricity annually. In fact, Bitcoin's annual electricity usage is more than the entire nation of Finland. As Australia becomes ever more conscious of its carbon emissions, it's hard to imagine a scenario where Bitcoin's current mining practices could be sustainable to compete alongside the Aussie dollar. Australia's historic economic reforms. Another reason why Australia probably won't adopt Bitcoin as legal tender anytime soon is its historic resistance to mass economic reforms. Given Australia's historic resistance to such large-scale economic change as seen in the adoption of the Goods and Services Tax or GST during the 1990s, it's easy to foresee how a similar reluctance to adopting another currency could occur. With that being said, things do change and ideas which once seemed untenable become quite tenable, as current society showcases. For a change of this magnitude, a number of stars would have to line up. So in short, don't hold your breath. If you enjoyed the information contained in this video, then make sure to like, share, subscribe, and comment what other cryptos you'd like us to take a look at, and don't forget to press the bell icon to stay across the latest videos. For more information, just head across to the website, kalkinemedia.com. I'm James Preston for Kalkine.